I am Nancy Vasek. I used to be Nancy Smith many, many years ago. I'm married to Charles Vasek, and we've been married for 35 years now. We have Brad, who's 34. He's our oldest. We have Megan, that just turned 29 and holding. And then Andrew was our baby, and when he passed away, he was just 21 years old. Andrew's full name was Andrew Victor Vasek. He was named after my daddy, what was Alvin Victor Smith, and Charles's daddy, that's Stephen Andrew Vasek. Andrew was born on February the 9th, 1993. It was the second try at it because I was induced and he didn't want to come on the 8th. So he came on the 9th. And it was cold. It was February, so it was cold and rainy. And
he didn't want to come out of that warm tub.
That's right. He liked it right where he was.
Just that, he was hard-headed. Cost me a day of induced labor.
And he never was on time really after that either. He took after his father.
No, ma'am.
Andrew was known for not ever being on time or having a clue what time it was. Be home at 10. Okay. 10:30 or 11, Andrew would come dragging in. Well, it's just 10 o'clock. No, Andrew, look at the clock. It's a little later than that. Oh gosh, Andrew's personality. Actually, yesterday I talked to a boy that graduated high school with him. And he said that just a couple of days ago, he and his wife were talking about Andrew. And I said, yeah, Andrew had a lot of friends. He said, yeah, he did. He was popular. He had a lot of friends, and he was a crazy guy. Everybody, he just had a personality that it didn't matter who you were. He would come up and talk to you and make friends with you. And just, he would tease you until you couldn't hardly stand it.
He took after me.
He was a joker. In fact, I would sit in the living room. Every day Andrew would come home, he would walk in and stand at the back of the couch and say, hey Mama, guess what? And I'd say, what, Andrew? Because I always thought he had something to tell me. And he would say, chicken butt. And then he'd say, well, guess why, Mama? And I'd say, why? Chicken thigh. So that was our running thing. And he would do it every day, and every day I would forget. And so he got me every single day with the same old joke. It didn't matter. Andrew was a big animal fanatic. And in high school, he had a buddy that they were going to go to Australia and open a zoo. Instead, he's opened it here in Wadsworth. And this is his bird, Chloe. Chloe likes treats. You want a treat, Chloe? Huh? Want a treat? She'll talk for treats. That's Popeye, the old man of the house. Popeye, Andrew got, I think he might have been in 7th grade. It's either 7th or 8th grade. And he asked me if he could have a puppy, and I said yes. He said, they're free. I said, that's fine, we'll get you a puppy. So we went over to the little boy's house that had him, and I saw Andrew slip him a $10 bill. And I said, well, Andrew, I thought that dog was free. And he said, well, he was, but I just thought he needed $10. So Popeye is Andrew's $10 dog. This picture is one with he and his mama when they had been fishing down at his Aunt Betty's. And he caught him a little redfish, and she caught her little redfish. But they're not quite so little. He was a little too thin, and he loved fish. His Uncle Joe called him Muddy Mud Skipper because he was full of mud all the time. And this picture was an Easter down at Mama's house. You can just barely see the top of his head. We gave Mama a big bunny rabbit for Easter. And then this one was Thanksgiving at Megan's house. And there's a story about that yellow jacket. We had a candle burning in the bathroom. I had one going in there, and he went in to take a shower, took the jacket off and threw it on top of the candle. Didn't realize the candle was on. I walked by it. I said, oh my God, Andrew, you're burning your jacket up. Luckily, it was in the bathroom right by the sink, so we were able to get it put out. But Ruined his jacket. He hated that. Okay, this is Andrew with his Reserve Grand Champion rabbit, and this little girl grew up to be one of our scholarship recipients last year. That's Sydney Armada. She's a little Wadsworth girl. Lives not too far from where we live. This is a picture with he and the bishop when he was confirmed. That's a picture of he and his friend Chad, and Chad's a little baby. This is an arrowhead that Betty found, and she said the next perfect one she found, she was given to me for Andrew. So I have it in a little box that I keep on his dresser. And it is a pretty arrowhead. Andrew had wanted a quilt made with all of his t-shirts, and I was gonna have this made and given to him, actually the Christmas that he died. But my friend Julie Culver went ahead and made it and gave it to me. And it's got a lot of his t-shirts, 4-H t-shirts, calf scramble t-shirts, of course a lot of football stuff, class t-shirts. And this is just a small portion of the t-shirts that he had, but these were the ones that he picked out that he wanted on the quilt. So this is real special. And when he was a younger kid, he worked at Parks and Recreation, and this is one of the shirts from there. He was a Parks and Recs kid. Actually, they have what they called the Viper program, which was the volunteers. He didn't get paid for that, but Megan was a worker there at the time, so he just went with her, and he was a Viper and he helped, and so he started, I guess, maybe in 7th grade doing that, and then once he got old enough, they hired him on as a counselor, and he loved it. We would be in HEB 2 or 3 years later and kids would still come up to him. Andrew, you remember me? So he was great with kids, loved kids. And I think they kind of liked him too. This is one of my favorite pictures of him. He was playing Little League that year, hanging at the fence instead of paying attention to what was going on. But at that age, that's what they did. This is one of the pictures, the one in there with his redfish. He was carrying the bait bucket there. I wouldn't say Andrew hated going to school. He didn't really like going to classes or studying anything, but he was very social. He loved to go and be with his friends. He never really gave us any trouble about going to school. He was always happy to get up and go to school, but he was not one of your top-notch students, I would say, but he got by. He had some learning disabilities, and which made it a little bit harder on him, but he got up every day, went to school. He went with a smile on his face. Teachers would say, you know, they'd call me when he had misbehaved in class. He said, but he'll just smile, those blue eyes, and then he'll smile at you. So he got away with a lot of stuff he probably shouldn't have gotten away with. But in high school, he loved, like I say, he loved playing football. That was his thing. This is his Letterman jacket. And here are some of his patches for his all-district and all-county that he got in 2009 and 2010. He was very proud of them. And I was very proud of him for getting them. This is Andrew's football jersey that some of his buddies that played football with him, when he passed away, they went to the coach, and the coach gave it to him, and they gave it to me at the funeral, so it's very special to me. The main thing that comes to mind when I think about Andrew is he was a jokester, and he had a smile that would just light up a room when he would come in. It didn't matter what he had done, no matter how mad I was at him, he could crack that grin, and that was it. You know, I was over it. He just had that way about him. He was a truly loving kid up until probably he was a freshman in high school. Anywhere we went, if we were walking through a parking lot, he would hold my hand. to get me into the store. Not that I'm an old, feeble woman, but that was just just the way he was. He was just a sweet, sweet kid. This is one of my favorites with the three of them they were in Brad's truck going probably either to the beach or to go riding in the boat. I think it was a beach trip though. This was when he was just home from the hospital for not too long. Brad was just hugging on him and loving him. I was already in bed and he came in and he said, well, I'm just going to watch TV. I said, okay. So he was watching TV and then I guess he got up to go take a shower. And I woke up around midnight and I could hear the water running because in the shower, I had let the dogs out. And then I let the dogs back in and went back to bed. And I heard the water still running, and I thought, that kid is going to just drain the well. So I knocked on the door, and he didn't answer. But he had been known to fall asleep sitting in the shower, just letting the water run on him. In the mornings when I'd get him up for school, he'd go sit in the shower and go back to sleep. So I knocked again, and I couldn't get any response, so I got a key and went in the bathroom, and he had never made it into the shower. He had had a seizure and fallen over and died. Some days are hard, and some days are a little easier. Pain never goes away. It's always there.
True.
There's not a day that goes by that I don't think about him.
Day by day.
Some days I think about him and I cry because he's not here. And then other days I think about him. Sometimes it's all in the same day and laugh because I think of that guess what thing that he always did to me. But I think about him constantly all day long. And there's just a hole there that can't be filled. So, and like I say, it's brought us all, me and Brad, Megan and Charles, all closer. We're a lot closer. We appreciate the time we have together because you don't ever know when it's not going to be there anymore.
Hey man, just never forget. Because you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow.
There's lots of hard moments. I cry. I cry a lot. Usually not for long because I'll get real sad and think about him and cry. And, you know, it's mostly I'm crying for me because he's not here, because where he is, he's doing good, you know. He's watching over everybody and with his grandma probably fishing. So I think about that, and then I just, you know, you got to pull yourself up. He wouldn't want us sitting around being sad every day all the time. So just got to think of the good times. Remember the good times, and there were a lot of them. We were at a family gathering, and we were just sitting around talking, and Charles's niece, Brandy, and her husband do a lot of cook-offs. And I think they just kind of got the idea rolling that we could have a barbecue cook-off, start it off, and then maybe give a scholarship in Andrew's name. And so we thought that was a pretty good idea, and they kind of helped us get everything planned and going. And so I was real penny pinching conscious of it, because I wanted to be able to give at least one $500 scholarship that year. Just one scholarship. Even if we had to throw money in, we were going to do one $500 scholarship. And the next thing I know, we're at the Fireman's Hall, and there are people calling saying, we want to donate something. What can we give? And it was a really rainy, horrible day. It had been for the couple of days before. So I thought, well, this is not ever going to happen because nobody's going to show up to cook. Nobody wants to get out in the rain to cook. But all these people were calling and wanting to give us things for a raffle and a silent auction. And so that's one way we raise money. And then the silent auction, some of the bigger items, we put a sheet and you just bid on it, and whoever's the highest bidder at the end of when we call the end of it, they're the ones that get to win the prize. We had a balloon release at the beginning of it, and that was touching, but it was also fun. I think everybody enjoyed doing that. The cook-off. We have several categories of things that people are cooking, and it's all got to be done on site. We have a check-in where you check in and you get a container to put your food in. We have chili, Dutch oven, beans, ribs, brisket, chicken. And then Friday night we have what's called a wild card entry, which is fajitas and margaritas. So that kind of gets everything started off on the right foot. And then early Saturday morning, we have Bloody Marys. So there's a little bit of something for everybody.
My name is Megan. We're just here to put on this for a good cause and to raise a lot of money for a scholarship.
Target audience for the scholarship is your average kid, not necessarily top 10 or National Honor Society or athletes or any of that, just somebody that really wants to go to school. And I know school's not cheap for anybody, so anybody could use the money, but we're looking for ones that are just your average student that really needs a little financial help. And the money doesn't go directly to the school. The kids have to show us that they're enrolled in school, and we give them the money, because usually there's all kinds of incidentals besides tuition and books that kids have to have if they're going off to school. They have a dorm, they've got to have sheets and towels or pots and pans if they have an apartment. So we use it for that, computers or whatever they might be able to use it for. The first year, which was 2015, we gave out 11 scholarships that just went to Bay City High School, and the total amount on that was $9,500. And then last year, we gave out 15 scholarships that were divided up between the 4 high schools in the county, and the total on that was $15,000. We gave each student a $1,000 scholarship. And this year, we're hoping to do at least the same amount, if not more. We would like to add every year if we can, if we can. If the economy holds and people still want to come out and support us like they normally do, we'll give more if we can. Well, to be able to hand out this award means a whole lot to me. They usually set all the presenters up on the stage and you've got all these bright lights shining in your eyes, but you're asked to get up and give just a little presentation of what the scholarship is, and so it's a little bit nerve-wracking getting up in front of a lot of people and talking, but I just always give a little speech, just a little bit about Andrew and who he was and what he meant to us, and then I just hand out the scholarship, and it's one of the best feelings you can have, knowing that that you're passing on kind of like a legacy for him, where he's going to be remembered by all these different people. So it's a very good feeling. It was pretty hard to get up in front of people and talk about it, because it kind of hits home then. You realize exactly what you're doing and why you're doing it. The reason we're doing it is because we lost our son. We're also doing it and it's helping out all these kids. So I was we did it in Bay City, which is the high school I went to and Andrew went to. And so it was kind of heart-wrenching, kind of hard to get up and talk in front of everybody, but you feel so good afterwards, because I'm not the only one in there giving out scholarships that are in memory of somebody. There's a lot of people that are handing out memorial scholarships. You know, it's a good feeling to be able to get up in front of the high school where you went to school and represent your son and keep his memory going. And it's one of the best feelings you can have, knowing that you're passing on kind of like a legacy for him. All the people that come to it are coming for a specific reason. They're coming for Andrew and to help out the other kids. So it keeps his memory going, keeps his memory alive, and that helps. That helps. Not that we'll ever forget him, but I don't want anybody to forget him. There's not enough words that we can say thank you. I mean, we just appreciate everything that's done, everything that everybody's given that's helped us make this as successful as it is. And no way to thank everybody enough. There's just not. There's no words for it.
Thanks be to God.
Yep.
God bless us all, everyone.
Amen.